Well, hello, my beautiful Scorpio. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your twin flame reading for the end of August right through the end of September 2025. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using guide chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. Also, I've brought the competition back for one subscriber to win a free personal reading from me, but I'll let you know how to win that a little bit later on because some people are here for the reading, of course, and I don't like to waste anyone's time. So with that in mind, let us get straight to your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Scorpio, this is your twin flame reading for those twins who are currently in separation. The first pile will be your pile, the second pile will be your person's pile, and the third pile is the unified energy of how things come together. Also, please look up online what it means to be in a twin flame connection, because if anyone is mentally, physically, or emotionally abusive, that is not a twin flame connection. That's more likely to be a false flame connection, and that will drain you of your beautiful love and waste your wonderful time. You know, a false flame and even a karmic will trigger you without any evolution on either side. That's how you know. And if you are growing from the experience, then it's more likely to be a twin. So I want you to be aware, of course, twin flames, they are magnetic. You're drawn to your person. You cannot stop thinking about your person. It's all consuming, and it's vice versa. They feel the same way as you. Often a very intense physical connection right at the beginning of the relationship. But the twin flame journey is more of a spiritual awakening rather than an actual physically romantic relationship. There tends to be a runner, a chaser, and a separation period, which is not always typical to form, but it tends to be the norm. And it's a process that prepares us to release lower vibrational energy that keeps us stuck in either fear, addictive patterns, or even unhealthy practices. Now, it's a very rich and intense inner vibrational transformation, but it is a journey of discovery, a personal one at that, and it's one that must be done alone, and that's why there tends to be a separation period. It's often a very lonely experience because of the separation period, so I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love if that's what you're experiencing right now. I always say do not wait for your twin, because you could be waiting a day, a week, month, year, decades. Each person has a path to navigate home to self towards unconditional love, and only then can they really embrace the reunion process. Of course, they must connect to their true life purpose as well at the same time in that separation period, and then they can have a sustainable relationship. Okay, now, the twin flames journey, as it were, is to basically trigger each other in order to amplify any feelings or trauma or sadness or wounds that have been left unhealed. You know, it's a formed sacred union as a result of shared difficulty and pain. It's a mirrored experience, so you may find that you and your twin had very similar life journeys. The lessons will be very similar, maybe not exactly the same occurrences in your life, but twins tend to have had some sort of difficulty or struggle or heartbreak before they even meet each other. And of course, when they meet each other, they reflect back to them their greatest strengths and also the greatest weaknesses. And when you're looking at your twin, you're actually looking in a mirror of all the things within yourself that are being amplified, any fears, insecurities, trust issues, codependency, even like addictions, things like that, anything that needs to be healed within the soul that is amplified so that you really cannot avoid it. You have to look at it. So the twin flame journey is very exposing. So when the runner looks in the mirror, as it were, they're looking at you, they see all the things within you that are within themselves that are being amplified, and they are basically running away from things that they've been running away from their whole life, and they're avoiding parts of themselves that they need to heal. And often these things are very challenging, overwhelming, and that's on both sides. I'm not here to take sides. I'm here to understand both sides of your story so I can understand the outcome energy. And the twin flame journey, I always describe it like magnets. Both of you share a frequency at your core. Okay, so you're not, how can I put that? You're not kind of separated from your other half, as it were. You're whole, all by yourself. But at the core of you, you share, an energetic frequency that is identical. So if you think about two magnets that are identical in polarities, there is that push and pull. You're drawn to each other. You cannot stop thinking about each other. It is the same on both sides. You're both feeling the same way, but you're reacting to the energy in different forms. So, both magnets want to be together. Okay, but there is a space in between because energetically you're two alike. You're identical in the frequency. So therefore, there has to be that space. And when one and then eventually both magnets change the frequency, only then can the magnets connect. So that space in between is there for you to change your vibrations, to focus on your sense of purpose, to put all that love, care, devotion, and attention inwards towards yourself, towards your true life's mission, because twin flames tend to have a mission, but also there is an energy of not just coming home to self, but also unconditional love. There must be unconditional love because you cannot love another if you do not love yourself. Okay, so often in twin flame dynamics, there tends to be some self-loathing or some low confidence issues, but this is based on previous experiences that have broken down the trust or broken down confidence in the past. This can range from, very damaging relationships before you even meet your twin. It can result from being bullied when you were younger. Often twin flames have an abandonment issue, and that can be raised in many different forms, as it were, right from the very foundation of self. So it can be things that you witness in your parental dynamics, can even range from like generational wounding. So there's a lot going on. Each twin flame journey will be different. People do say, why can't twins just be really honest and say, look, I love you so much, why can't they just articulate it? Well, twin flames often don't know how to articulate their feelings from a healthy place because of trauma or a deep wound, because, twin flames, the love that is offered on that journey, it is like no other. It is a depth of love that triggers every fearful emotion of losing that love. It brings all those fearful emotions to the surface, and it weighs heavy on the person's mind. It triggers unhealed responses, and often that unhealed response is to run. Okay, so it is to walk away or push away because they feel unsafe in some way. To love a broken person is never very easy. Okay, of course, it requires patience, deep understanding, and, a love that is strong and does not waver. But looking at your energy, I feel like you offered this with this person. You offered a safe space for this person. But I want you to be aware, of course, respect, value, very important. Everybody must take accountability for their actions. There's no excuses. So if your twin has not acted in a high regard, then they need to take accountability for that and give you truth. Often we have to acknowledge that sometimes we don't get that truth. We have to find a way to, get closure on situations ourselves. So it can be a very challenging experience, and not everybody takes the twin flame journey, of course, because it is a challenging experience. But when you come together in union, it is very rewarding. And it can happen, and it does happen. And there are many well-known figures in the public eye who've had a long separation period, but they came back together. They worked through their stuff so that they could, remove it from getting in the way of the relationship. Often there's pride, there's fear, there's so many things going on in a twin flame dynamic, and you know, it is about focusing on your sense of purpose. And when the moment is right, I always say this, when the moment is right, you will reunite with your twin. The universe will make it so. And this reading is not about me, but when I met my twin, I was a runner. I pushed my twin away. I'm not going to give you the full details of that, but I was a very broken person when I met my twin. I'd been shattered into millions of little pieces from a previous experience, a karmic that was just so damaging. And of course, I couldn't love myself. So therefore, I couldn't love my twin. There was a lot of self-loathing. And we basically went through the twin flame separation period. And of course, you flip polarities as well. So you understand what it's like to be the chaser as well as the runner. And then you come together in a union. And of course, it is very rewarding. But during the separation period, so many coincidences, synchronicities were occurring. You'll be experiencing that right now. I kid you not, in a city of millions of people, the universe had me bump into my twin on more than one occasion. The universe gave me so many signs, and I was like, I don't want to see these signs. I don't want, no. But then I kept bumping into this person, and I was like, there's got to be something. You know, what is happening here? I don't understand this. So I researched more. I sorted through my stuff, and eventually, you know, you find a way back to yourself and then towards each other. So it is a process. It's not a game. It's an energetic exchange. Remember the magnets. Now, if this magnet keeps, you know, reaching out, thinking about their person, pursuing the relationship all the time without any sort of reciprocity, then of course the magnets will perpetuate a cycle. The energy between will always remain the same because the frequencies have not changed. So this magnet, let's say this is the chaser, has to put all that care, devotion, love, attention inwards and onto your personal purpose path, and then you change your frequency. When you elevate and ascend, you change your frequency, and then this magnet comes closer because the frequencies change, the energy is different, and now they can get a little bit closer. However, they must also step up and change their frequency and focus on all their stuff, and then you come together in a match, okay? That's a real bite-sized idea of what it means to be in a twin flame dynamic. There's so much out there, but I want to give you just an idea of how sensitive this journey can be. Often people cut cords. There's only one twin flame journey, okay? You can have a soulmate, of course, but sometimes it's so challenging to navigate a twin who is not ascending. And you should never wait because they will take their path towards their healing on their own time. And that's not your time. So honor your own time. Very important, okay? So I'll leave it like that. Your first card there is the tree. So this can indicate that you thought about planting roots with this person. You offer them a safe space. The tree can indicate you invested in this relationship fully to the point where you thought you would marry this person because it's number 5 there. Number 5 is the Hierophant. But also, I feel like you just knew this person. It was so familiar. It's like you knew each other before. And of course you did from many lifetimes. You'll seek each other out time and time again. There is a bond that is unspoken but is felt between you both. And this is a card that indicates that, you know, there were a lot of bumps in this road with your twin, a lot of back and forth going on there. But I feel like you try to offer this person a healthy space in love, and you really felt like this was it, okay? This is a love like no other. This person actually saw you as someone who is a very grounding force in their life, but it's almost like they couldn't trust their feelings. They couldn't trust themselves not to fall back into a cycle. I'll get to their energy in a moment. This person is always looking back, but they had to cut something out before they could come to you, is what I'm seeing there. For some of you, this could be a substance. May not resonate with all of you, but there's something here about this person being numb. Okay, so maybe they talked to you about this. I'm not really sure, but I'll get to their energy in a moment. The tree energy, I feel right now you're focused on your own journey. I feel like you're standing tall. I feel like you're trying to create a healthy environment in your life. So you may be actually cutting out a lot of things, distancing yourself. You know, the tree is an energy of standing where you are in your power and like being an immovable force. Okay, that's what I'm seeing with you right now. So I'm getting like a vibe where it's like, you know what? You feel yourself, and I know this sounds strange, but I'm going to give it to you the way that I'm getting it from my guides and perhaps how you're feeling it. If you think about the network of trees, okay, there's a communication that's going on under the surface that perhaps is not readily available to see in the surface world. So it can be that you feel this person. You don't know how, but you feel them, and you can communicate with them through like dreams, or you feel their energy. You kind of know where they're going to like message you. You just feel them on a different level that is otherworldly, as it were. But also I feel, because the tree is like this immovable force and you are where you are right now, it's like you're not moving. You're not reaching out to this person, and they know where you're at. So I feel there's this energy of you being very strong, saying, no, I'm not actually going to come towards you. You know where I am at, and I'm here, and I never moved from this spot. I was true. I was honest. I gave. I was solid in this connection. And I feel that there is this energy of, yes, you understand this person on a different level, where you understand that they were going through something, but so were you. And you decided to take a route where you planted roots for yourself, grounded yourself, and found a way to thrive in your circumstances. But I feel there's this energy of looking at generations. Okay, the tree can represent hereditary energy. So I feel there's something here that you're aware of that is connected to your person's family lineage or family in general. Because I feel this person has an abandonment issue. Okay, and maybe this is something to do with marriage and separation. Perhaps this person, I'm picking up an energy of like either one of the parental figures on your twin's side left at a very early age, or was in and out of the relationship. So this person witnessed their parents or guardians divorcing or separating in some way, a lot of turbulent energy. Or I'm also picking up on someone who has such a strong abandonment issue. I mean, this person could have been adopted as well, or even looked after by other members of the family. And whilst this is something that is at the core of them, there's an energy that kind of rose up within this person when they were younger, like love leaves. Or they felt somehow that if people were not there for them, the people who should have been there for them, at the core of them, they feel like they were not worthy of people sticking around. And this is from a very young age. This is something that's coming out here. And I feel that it got in the way of the relationship, because this person, they equate love as leaving. So it's like, as soon as they start to attach to a person that they're in love with, or that they feel like an unconditional bond with, they're aware that it will sever quite quickly. It's like, cut. So in order to retain power in friendships or relationships, when they feel like someone's getting too deep or too close, they shut it down, because they want to be the one who leaves first, because before they even met you, people left them. So there's something there. And again, I'm not here to give an excuse. I'm here to understand the energy. I feel like there's this energy where it's almost like they are looking at the hand that they've been dealt in life, where they feel that when people get too close, that they're always meant to leave people. Or like this person, they draw people in, or they feel people gravitate towards them, but then eventually they leave. That's something that's coming in, and they felt that you were going to leave. But we've got the tree there. So this indicates that you never gave them cause to feel like you were going to leave. You were solid, true, and offered that healthy space. But you're aware there's something in this person's family lineage that could have marked this person for the behaviors that they have exhibited in the twin flame dynamic, okay? And for some of you, my beautiful Scorpio, you may be acutely aware of these experiences because you've had them also. There's a mirror. I'm being shown a mirror right now, okay? But, this is where you feel like you're at right now with this person, and it's like, well, I'm here. They know where I'm at. I haven't moved. I'm focusing on my life. I'm focusing on healthier practices, detoxifying. And I'm not talking about substances. I'm talking about you trying to look at your diet, your health, your lifestyle, cutting out people who are toxic or situations that don't serve a higher purpose. Because this card, along with the Three of Wands, is also kind of like you being in a grounded position where you feel like you've waited a long time for this person. Don't get me wrong, you haven't been like darning your socks by candlelight waiting for them to reach out to you, but at the same time, you've been getting busy with your life, focusing on your sense of purpose. I mean, Three of Wands indicates that you are following your heart, you're aligned with your sense of purpose, and you're on a path towards success. You know, you're focused on achievements right now. But also the Three of Wands is you're starting to think about your future, and you're thinking about whether you should like branch out and put yourself in a position to meet someone new. You didn't want to, but you feel like you've had to. There's something in your energy right now where you're like, I can't keep like being this solitary energy, like growing and maturing, because the tree is all about maturity. I feel like there's this energy of like, should I move on? Number 7 is at the bottom here. You know, 7 of Hearts is like 7 of Cups. You're feeling really scattered in this energy. It feels like, you know, there is a commitment issue here, and you feel like the only way to resolve it right now is to just get on with being you. So I feel like you're hesitant about getting involved in this. And actually, you know, the 7 of Cups energy can be that you feel very scattered, so you're making yourself scarce, that you are non-committal to this right now because you were, and nothing ever went down there. I mean, we have the Fool card, which is all about, you know, new adventures. It's an energy of like you feeling that this relationship had so many potentials, but at the same time, you feel that either this person played with your heart, you're questioning, but also I feel there is this energy of like doing a lot of processing, healing, and wanting to start afresh, wanting to start anew. And I feel for some of you, at the very core of you, you wish you never met this person, okay? That's coming out there, but it's because of a self-preservation kind of measure. You know, you're trying to protect your heart there. I feel like you just want to have fun. You want to detach from this heavy energy. I feel you are somehow still attached to this person, you know, but at the same time, because we have a tree which is all about roots and heritage, and you got the Fool, which can be about the very foundation of you. You are aware of some similarities between you and your twin, so you've taken time to really understand their position, and sometimes at cost to yourself. Okay, so I feel with this Fool card, there's this energy of wanting to be playful, wanting to connect and go out there and have fun. But you're also aware that this twin flame journey has triggered something within your inner child, because the Fool card is all about that, and you are growing away from a hurt or a wound from when you were younger, and that was there to be amplified. So perhaps there is a crossover energy here, but we've got the 3 of Wands, which means you've waited. 3 of Wands is you are growing now in confidence and learning to celebrate the wonderful you, but you're at a stage right now where you're planning your future and you can't see this person in it because there's no movement, there's no action. And I feel with this 3 of Wands that you're looking elsewhere right now. I mean, I'm not even sure if you're actively seeking, but the 3 of Wands is like you're standing on the shore. If you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, there's a figure that stands on the shoreline, you know, on top of a mountain, surveying the golden seas. And like, there's a lot of people out there who are really interested in you. You know, you attract a lot of attention, and you're like, well, yeah, and that's nice, but I wanted my twin. So there's this energy of holding on to this like one wand, wondering if you should venture out into the world, but still having an attachment to this person and wondering if they're going to show up for you. But right now, it's all about you showing up for you. So I feel like you're taking the onus on yourself to actually like move forward and kind of like leave a part of this behind, because you're going to be in the right place at the right time, in the right moment to meet your twin when, you know, it's time for you to reunite. I mean, looking at your outcome energy, I feel like you haven't heard the last of this person. As you can see in this card and in this card, there's a lot of emotion here. You still have love for this person. And, you know, this horse is bathing in this water. Horses represent freedom, loyalty, you know, empathy. And it can be that, you know, this person stopped you in your tracks and somehow clipped your wings, or you feel like your freedom has been scuppered in some way because you're grounded in this love and this energy. But, you know, this figure is purifying, washing things off. So it can be that, you know, you're returning to a period where there's more freedom and you're busy doing you. You know, this is a card that indicates you are focused more in aligning with your sense of purpose. You know, you're actually making the right decision. Three of Wands says you're making good choices right now about your future. Remain on course. Trust yourself, because everything else will flow. When you step away from your twin, it's not a game, it's an energetic exchange, a self-preservation measure. Remember the magnets. You're changing your frequency. You're stepping back. You're changing that frequency so that your twin, that magnet, comes towards you. This person can feel the cutoff. They can feel, you know, as you can see, you've got the scythe for your person. Something big ended for this person. It was such a shock. This is a card of shock, okay? I feel like shock that, you know, you would be interested in them, shock that you fell in love with them, shock that they fell in love with you, shock from their past. This person has gone through a few tower moments in their life, but so have you. And you're someone who's a very strong person, and you dealt with it with style in some way, is what I'm being given. But this person, because it's number 10 there, I feel this person is going through a radical change in their life, and they're sorting the wheat from the chaff in their life. So I feel like this person is reaching for healthier practices. If you're asking if this person's on their own right now, the answer is yes. They're not connected to anybody else. They've got the hermit energy, which is to remove themselves in order to have a spiritual awakening. For some of you, you could be dealing with someone who's got very strong fire in their chart, but also strong earth in their chart, specifically Virgo. But we've got like this energy here of cutting things out. This person also ended the relationship very abruptly, okay, because you got in too deep. I'm hearing a very intense, it sounds very angry song right now coming through. Oh, it's very powerful, but very kind of like, okay, I'll give you what I can hear. Okay, this is a song, I feel like this song came up like years ago, like 3-4 years ago in a reading. So I'm going to give it to you right now, what this is that I'm hearing. How can you see into my eyes like open doors, leading you down into my core where I've become so numb. Oh, okay. And then there's this like, wake me up inside. It's like, it's almost like shouting. Okay. I'm going to disconnect from that song. Very intense. Okay. This song is by Effervescence. Yes, that's my memory of it. Effervescence. What I can hear though is this person is like, inside of them there is a call for help, but I want you to be aware of this. Okay. You, my beautiful Scorpio, are a full feeling soul. Okay. You're here to have an experience. You're not just here on this earthly plane to fix people. You're here to have a wonderful, loving journey, okay? You're not just here to be someone's emotional crutch. Sometimes we have to step away so that we do not enable behavior, so that a person can find their way towards healing. Yes, be there for a person. Offer unconditional love, which is what I see that you have done. But also I feel with that tree, there is this energy here where you're like, respecting your journey also and recognizing that you have needs as well. So I feel you stepping away has not like left them bereft. It's more that when they haven't got that emotional crutch, they have to find their way through something themselves. And that's giving them more confidence with themselves, and they are being empowered so that they can find their way back to themselves, but also to you. Okay, so that's something that's coming out. Listen out for that song. You may hear it in the next coming weeks or months that highlight this person is going to reach out to you. You have not heard the last from this person. Your outcome energy, we have the Judgment. Okay, the Judgment card is second chances, but I feel like you've given this person a lot of chances. And there's also an Eight of Cups here. Now, Eight of Cups is a journey of self-discovery. So you and your person had to let go. You had to be separate in order to see beyond the superficial, in order to dive a little bit deeper. This is not surface stuff. This is something that is below the surface. So 8 is the number of the self. So both of you are in the rite of passage in the twin flame dynamic. It was meant to be this way, okay? So I feel this is encouraging this person to put an end to their old ways in some way. The Scythe is an energy of, you know, disconnect. This person is disconnecting from a lot of things in their life right now. There's something about ego here as well, because we have that Six of Wands energy. This person, and you may not feel like this, But this is coming from the core of them. They put you on a pedestal. They thought you were the best thing since sliced bread. And whilst that is wonderful, and you may have felt that at first, this person felt like they had nothing to offer you. There's this energy that triggered a lot of fear within them. That's why they cut it off so short, that they felt they could not raise to your energy, or they felt that you outshone them in some way, or they felt that they were not enough. Because there is this root core energy of abandonment with this person, that they feel like, oh, when you get to really know them, you'll expose the fact that they feel like they're not enough. So I feel this person, in their life in general, there's been a bravado, but beneath the bravado, there's a very sensitive person at the core, okay? And even that song, if I really think about the lyrics, it's like, how can you see into my soul, basically, is what it's saying. How can you see, like, into the darkest part of me where I feel empty? Because there's something that happened to this person where they felt, and I think it's from a very young age, it's like, not that their innocence was cut short, but I felt like this person, something that was healthy and pure at the very beginning of them got cut short. And either it was a toxic environment, or there was an event, something just happened where everything was different. And this person had to maybe even be like more mature for their age, like step into a role which is not a role a child should have, like a parental role. It's like they had to do, stuff before their time. So it feels like their childhood somehow got cut short, is what I'm picking up on. And so when they got older and they got to a position where they could be more independent, I feel like they didn't want any responsibility. They just were like cut loose, fancy free. We're not looking for a long-term relationship when they met you. And Six of Wands means that then they met you and you were everything they ever wished for. But suddenly, things that get severed, cut short, destroyed. This person realized that something so special could be ended. So in order to retain power in a connection, humans are very complex. Sometimes in order to avoid pain or something that reoccurs, they push away. Like, okay, you know what? This is very important, but I'm just going to push away at this time because I don't want to be hurt again. So I feel both of you have had very similar experiences, but dealt with this particular experience in a very different way. You were willing to grow with this person, understand this person, and offer sanctuary for this person. And this person was afraid that you would leave. So rather than, both of you have been triggered in fears, this person decided to, feel that the healthiest option would be to cut this short. So it was self-preservation mode. Both of you are alike in some ways, but this person wishes for you to be aware of that at some point. Six of Wands is an energy of influencing. So this person knows they influence the breakup of this connection. And I feel with the Hermit, this person, they are maturing. I feel like this person is on a spiritual journey now because you have stepped back. I feel this person is at a period of reflection, inner wisdom. They know deep down their actions influence this connection. And I feel because the judgment is there, there is regret. This person is judging themselves. And I feel that's where this person is right now, because the Hermit energy is all about withdrawing. So there's two people at a stalemate right now. Both have withdrawn, okay? But the outcome energy, we have the flowers. Now it's number 9. Number 9 is Hermit energy. So it tends to be that in this spiritual awakening, both of you are blossoming. You're growing, and it takes a long time to grow, but, it is a thorny path, but it is rewarding. And also there is this energy here because the flowers are all about sensuality, about, reuniting, invitations to meet each other again. So I see that for your future, okay? Whether you decide to take that future or not, that's totally your call, okay? Because there is a pathway right in the middle of this. It's like, do you go your separate ways or do you reunite? So I feel there's this energy of very thoughtful beings thinking about each other all the time, but wondering how they can find their way back towards each other when really you should be finding your way back towards yourself. Now, if you really have a look at the cards, this is the period of blossoming separately. And then you have, of course, the pathway in between, which is a long and lonely road. Okay, so I feel this is the rite of passage that you're in right now, but the pathway can lead towards commitment because we have the ring there. These cards popped out. I did not choose these cards for you. I shuffle the cards. This is the message for this particular twin flame dynamic. So can you find your way back towards each other? The answer is absolutely yes, but it is a long process and there's a lot of decisions along the way. But both of you right now, you're meant to be on your true calling path, because that's what the Judgment card is. In order to reach for more in a relationship, you must sacrifice it for a while to step back in order to prioritize your own needs. And I feel that's where you and this person are at this moment in time. They're in a solitary energy. I feel like they are looking back. This card is literally a person looking back, and the stars are arching over this person. So they're healing, but so are you. And I feel like you've completed more of your healing than this person has. They're playing catch up, as it were. But the Judgment card is a reunion card. So I feel there is the potential for you and this person to reunite in your future. But because the Eight of Cups is there, I need to pull a card, because I feel this is like you go on this path of self-discovery. And, you know, you kind of like take a path you feel you ought to walk rather than one that is expected of you at this time. And this Judgment energy is like both of you have like a wake-up call, a final decision. You get clear about what it is that you want. What is life's purpose? Of course, life's purpose is about love, unconditional love, you know, compassion, leading with your heart, following your calling back to self, but also back to each other. That's the twin flames calling, to find your way back towards each other, but you have to sort through the stuff at first. Now, when I touch this card, I'm seeing a magpie, one, and I'm hearing one for sorrow. So there's some sort of sorrow or wound that is needing to be processed before you and your person can actually find your way back towards each other. So that's coming through very strongly there. But let me pull a card on the Eight of Cups, because the Eight of Cups is all about walking a path alone in order to learn more about self. But also there is this question mark of going in a different direction, because I feel, looking at your energy, you're wanting to move on. You didn't want to really, but you feel like you're in a position where, you know, you have no other choice. Three of Wands can also be, because that's the card you got there, it is a card of healing, ultimately. So both of you are healing different aspects of self, but I need to see this Eight of Cups for you, because the Eight of Cups can be that this is not fulfilling in its present form. And realizing that something is no longer working, trying to make it work is just going to keep you stuck. So withdrawing and taking stock is where you're both at right now in order to build a new perspective. So we have the Wheel of Fortune. Fate and destiny will bring you back towards each other. You will hear from this person again. Knight of Swords is lifestyle changes, but also it is someone taking action and communicating. So I feel like there's an energy of you both having another opportunity to really discuss the relationship and see where you're going from there. I feel healthier options, healthier choices are coming on in for you both, but you're destined to talk to each other again. You're destined to kind of like realize where the fear has been so you can conquer it. And this is the healing process. So the twin flame I'm picking up on right now, yes, it is a challenging experience. I would say that, you know, you and your person, you know, the Wheel of Fortune is about cycles, but I feel this next cycle that you have with your person will lead to a healthier kind of contemplation. And actually, I kid you not, I've just seen a second magpie join the first one, two for joy. That's incredible. Okay, so I will leave that there. Maybe this is something that you're going to see. It's like just when you're thinking one for sorrow, there's like a little space of, I don't know how long time, but then suddenly the second magpie joins and it's two for joy. Something that you thought would be sorrowful will end up being joyful. So that's what I'm getting from this particular twin flame dynamic. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Scorpio? Now this deck is all about conversations that have been left unsaid, okay, or anything that needs to come out in this connection that has not been mentioned. Oh, wow. So just to be clear, sometimes I never know how these readings are going to go. I trust the process, shuffle the cards, my guides give me the energy, my guides speak to me as I actually do your reading, and they show me images, give me songs, all of the stuff. So I trust the process, okay? And, you could have got any card in this deck. I fear you will move away from me. That's something that is in this person's energy as well, but it says, I have issues and I don't deserve your love. There's just so many other cards you could have got right now. And the card of my pride and my ego affected this connection. That's something that definitely came out in this reading and is very important for you to be aware of, because this person is having an ego death. They have the ego card and they have the scythe. They're cutting things out. They're sorting the wheat from the chaff in their life. And they're really looking at what's important, because the Hermit energy is like, what is important? Remove yourself from circumstances that just don't align in order to really find your true self. That's what the Hermit is all about. And that's what your person's all about right now in their energy. I feel like they are solitary for that reason. And, they will find their way back to self. That's what the Hermit does. And then, of course, there will be a period in your future where you can come back together. Okay, you've also got, I plan on contacting you soon. Okay, that's there as well. And let's just be honest with each other. I mean, my beautiful Scorpio, I feel like you've been honest with this person. I feel it's this person needing to step up to the plate and tell you some truths. And I feel they are aware of what kept them stuck in this connection. And they will communicate this with you. They're working their way up to it, let's put it that way. Because this person, there's an energy here that's still in their pride and ego, where it's like, how can they broach this topic? How can they swallow their pride and reach out and say, look, I influenced this breakup. I need to own my stuff. I need to take accountability. So I feel like this person's working their way back towards that, okay? So let's get a trinket or rune before we close. Okay, so we have a mermaid there, and she's turning her back, okay? Now, of course, mermaids, they're all connected to emotions. So this can be that someone denied their emotions, turned their back on their feelings, okay? And now they are needing to look at that. But also this can be that you are turning your back on this because you feel it's not going anywhere. I feel with this trinket, and I rarely feel it with this trinket, I just feel it's like self-preservation. This mermaid is turning their back and their arms are not by their side. Their arms are crossed like this. You can see the way the shoulders are, where it is protection. So I feel that there is this energy in this particular twin flame dynamic where both parties really protected their feelings, and it's at stalemate right now. But I feel when you work through some stuff, you can come back towards each other and complete the twin flame journey and be together. I mean, this card indicates, a bond that leads to marriage or getting engaged or, commitment, long-term commitment. So I feel that is something that you can work your way towards, but it is a process. And remember, a process can be years, decades. Just be mindful and honor your own time, okay? So I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates, my beautiful Scorpio. Also, if you'd like to win a free competition from me, all you have to do is put an emoji of a candle in the comments box below. And if you don't have access to that, just write the word candle and I will gravitate towards one subscriber to win the free personal reading. My guides will give me the name and I'll announce the winner in September. You have to be subscribed, unfortunately, because I cannot find anyone's name through YouTube. They've done some algorithm changes and I can't find anyone's name that is not connected in a subscription to my channel. Now the subscription is free, okay? It's just subscribe, right? So I just want you to be aware of that. If you don't win the competition this time round, I'll do another one. But if you don't want to be subscribed after that, just click unsubscribe. I'm not here just to try and get subscriptions, okay? I want you to be aware of that. But in order to find your name, I need to have a subscriber because I can't find the name otherwise, okay? So it's just something to be mindful of. Also, if you have a moment, listen to your favorite song. The world needs a lot of light right now. We're all aware of that. And listening to your favorite song just raises vibrations and we affect the energy around us with the energy inside of us. So, you know, play it loud, play it proud, and just really feel it in your soul. Raise those vibrations. We can all do our bit. I know it's small. We can do many other things, but this is a very poignant moment in our timeline where high vibes are very important. Okay, so I'll leave it there, my beautiful Scorpio. Thank you so much, and love and light.